If you've been seriously injured, your case could be worth millions, and it's important you know exactly what your rights are. And that's why I want to tell you about Morgan & Morgan. They're America's largest injury law firm, with over 1,000 attorneys working in all 50 states. And unlike a lot of firms that settle quickly, Morgan & Morgan doesn't take lowball offers from insurance companies. Just in the past few months, they won $12 million in Florida when the insurance company offered only $350,000. And in New York, they scored $6.8 million on a case that only offered them $275,000. And the best part, it's absolutely free unless you win. Insurance companies try to pay out as little as possible. Morgan & Morgan fights to get you more if you become their client. It only takes a few minutes to see if you have a case. And you can do it right from your phone. It's that easy. You can start your claim now with Morgan & Morgan at www.forthepeople.com/Timcast or click the link in the description below. From ABC News, Trump accuses Obama of treason in the Oval Office. Quote, they tried to rig the election, Trump claimed without presenting evidence. You know, I just love that line because Tulsi Gabbard dropped 100 plus documents outlining their evidence. And Trump is just opining on that fact. So why is ABC News lying to you? That's interesting, isn't it? They say days after President Donald Trump posted an AI-generated fake video showing former President Obama's arrest on his social media platform, the current president pushed conspiracy theories about Obama in the Oval Office on Tuesday, accusing him of treason without providing evidence regarding the 2016 presidential election. They tried to rig the election and they got caught, and there should have been severe consequences for that. Well, we got the clip. Let's play the tape.
I didn't know that. No, I have no concern. He's a very talented person. He's very smart. I didn't know that they were going to do it. I don't really follow that too much. It's sort of a witch hunt, just a continuation of the witch hunt. The witch hunt that you should be talking about is they caught President Obama absolutely cold, Tulsi Gabbard. What they did to this country in 2016, starting in 2016, but going up all the way going up to 2020 in the election. They tried to rig the election, and they got caught. And there should be very severe consequences for that. You know, when we caught Hillary Clinton, I said, you know what? Let's not go too far here. It's the ex-wife of a president, and I thought it was sort of terrible. And I let her off the hook, and I'm very happy I did. But it's time to start after what they did to me, and whether it's right or wrong, it's time to go after people. Obama's been caught directly. So people say, oh, you know, a group. It's not a group. It's Obama. His orders are on the paper. The papers are signed. The papers came right out of their office. They sent everything to be highly classified. Well, the highly classified's been released. And what they did in 2016 and in 2020 is very criminal. It's criminal at the highest level. So that's really the things you should be talking about. I know nothing about the other, but I think it's appropriate that they do go.
May I ask you about that?
So I don't know what the earlier context in that statement was, but he then brings up Obama and accused him of treason. He continued. Now, Obama has responded, denying Trump's bizarre allegations that he was Russiagate ringleader in a rare statement. As soon as Obama decided to speak out, I was like, he's guilty. There's no reason to comment on someone just insulting you, on the internet or in the press. They say former President Obama denied Trump's bizarre allegations that he was a Russiagate ringleader.
It's incredible that they say things like bizarre, like the DNI has actual evidence. Maybe it's not enough to convince people or whatever, but sorry for the outburst, but like legitimately, it's ridiculous that the way that the media is portraying this, oh, there's no evidence and blah, 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 just totally disregarding all of the stuff that the DNI has produced.
This is the How to Deal with Trump playbook. They've been playing it since 2016, and they're doing it now.
It's fascinating because as you guys just heard how Trump phrased it. He said, Tulsi put out these documents. You should really look into that because, what we're learning, what he did. And then the way ABC News phrases it is they omit Tulsi Gabbard from it. Yeah. This is how the media lies to you. Okay? Technically, they're telling the truth, but they've cut out so much information. You don't know the actual context. This is how they play up the Very Fine People hoax and all the other hoaxes. So I ask all of you listening right now, and those of you in the room, for what action, how do I say this? What is the minimum action required for you to be satisfied based on these circumstances?
I want a mugshot at least. That's like the bare minimum.
Well, so you're saying arrest?
Yes, there needs to be arrest because, listen, we've been playing these games for quite some time now, and unfortunately, we haven't seen much movement from the DOJ. I mean, we've known all of this. Everything has come out from, Gabbert's team, which I'm so thankful that it has. We've all known about these things for quite some time now, and so there should have been a blueprint by the DOJ on if they have a special prosecutor going on, or how they were going to go about making these arrests, or who they're going to go for first, because obviously Barack Obama would be the last arrest that they'd make. They'd want some individuals who are surrounding him to turn on him quick. And so I hope they have a plan in place. I don't hear of any grand juries going on. Obviously in DC you'd hear about it, but outside of DC I haven't heard of any grand juries going on. So I'm a little concerned that we're kind of playing catch up here, but also I can't wait for Barack Obama to try to sit there and play the presidential immunity argument here and say that he can't be prosecuted, because he can be, and he's obviously been a part of the lawfare before, so it'll be interesting to hear.
So I understand that there are going to be obviously people on X that are going to try to make that argument. Do you think that Barack Obama would actually try to make that argument? I do think that he's a little more sophisticated than the average partisan, poster on X. Do you think Obama would?
I think if the walls start closing in, if the people around him start to turn, then yes, I think he'd have to make the argument of presidential immunity. But from what I'm understanding is there's probably more evidence in regards to when he left the White House and how he kept everything kind of going still. So presidential immunity wouldn't apply for that.
I think it's all fake, to be honest.
Yeah.
What do you think is fake?
I'm done believing any of this, the posting of memes and the making of claims. I'm half kidding. I know people are going to take it very, very seriously. What I'm saying is I'm beginning to doubt that there is any intention in going after these people. And the reason I bring that up is, although we are seeing some movement from the Trump DOJ, it's 1% of the actual power they have and could move on. I mean, you take a look at how the Biden DOJ went after Trump's lawyers, went after Trump himself and lied and made things up. You mean to tell me that Trump's sitting there being like, I guess we'll figure out in time? They didn't wait. They literally just said, go arrest all his lawyers and make the charges up.
But look at how Trump behaved in his first term, right? He came into office. He had said, lock her up about Hillary Clinton. And he was much more of a gentleman about it. He was like, I don't think that's appropriate to just start going after the wives of former presidents.
Well, he should now.
We're not going to do that. And when we did see the Biden administration come in and start not just prosecuting former Trump officials, but those people couldn't get jobs. It was very difficult for them to just lead a normal life at that point. And now we're in another administration, and we're seeing this administration go after the previous administration and perhaps the one before. And there's probably good reasons for a bunch of these things, but I can't help looking at a place like Venezuela, where one administration goes after the previous administration and the entire government is just hung up in muck about all of this stuff. And I find that really discouraging, that our American governmental system,
that's the future,
could come to a process where all it is you elect one group of people and they jail the previous people, and then the next people jail the previous people. I mean, that's Banana Republic.
Unless you win.
Well, but you never win. But you never win.
You do.
There's always 4 years later, and somebody else is going to.
No,
win.
you're just talking about the intervals by which the conflict continues. So you can take a look at Spain, and what was it? Franco won for 70 plus years.
Sure, but I'm not looking for a leader for 70 years for this country.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying if Donald Trump were to weed out the corruption and solve the issue of the phony Democrat-controlled congressional seats, maybe you would not have to worry about corrupt individuals selling out your nation and taking power from you.
Well, you're exactly right. And that's what we should be looking at, right? We should be looking at redistricting. We should be looking at redistricting in Texas and New York. You had Yvette Clarke was revealed on a Zoom call today saying that she wants more migrants in Brooklyn in District 9 of New York because she wants that for her redistricting. If you look at, the population of her district, she has more people in her district than the population of some states in this country. And she wants more people to bolster, the Democratic Party. You see that in California. They have 52 seats. How many of those seats are just not legitimate because they are full of illegal immigrants who should not be counted toward, House representation at all? Never mind Texas. We have that going on. And you have Jasmine Crockett being like, redistricting is Texas, is racist and all that kind of stuff.
Could you imagine?
That's what we should be looking at.
Could you imagine going back 10 years and telling people that the FBI would raid the home of, I'm saying, like, literally, go back to 2015 and say, 10 years from now, it will have, or not 10 years, but, 8 years from now, the FBI will raid the home of former President Donald Trump with shoot-to-kill orders if met with commensurate force.
And that was really about all the Russia stuff.
If you went back 10 years and told someone that,
no, I think it would sound unbelievable.
they'd have you 5150.
Yeah.
They'd say, "Oh, okay, buddy. Let me bring you to." Nobody would believe. It's scary to me. Can we go over real quick so people don't forget? Because people really do forget. They falsely accused Trump of 34 felonies. Mm-hmm. The government proved no underlying crime, which is required for these charges, and told the jury, just decide for yourself if you think there was some other crime. In what reality can the U.S. legal system just say, we're going to lock you up and let the jury decide if you committed some crime? We're not going to actually present you with the crime. You don't get to confront your accusers. You have no right to a trial in this regard. They accused him of civil fraud, even though the banks said he never defrauded them. It was all in the up and up, and they made money and would like to work with him again. They arrested his lawyers in multiple states. They arrested him in multiple states. They raided his home with authorization to kill. They were armed and told if they were met with resistance that threatened their lives or caused great bodily harm, they could use lethal force against the president and the patrons of Mar-a-Lago, which is a large club. Mm-hmm. Right now, considering all that happened, what are we actually going to see? It's been 6 months. Mm-hmm. I know everyone says be patient, be patient. It does look like moves are being made, but the most I'm hearing from anyone in this is that maybe there will be a conspiracy against rights charge. I'm like, these people, going back to 2016, tried to overthrow the government. And what I mean by that is the government is of, for, and by the people. And when the American voters vote for Donald Trump, and then a cabal of unelected individuals use governmental power to undermine the will of the people, they're a subversive force betraying this nation. And Trump has an obligation to do something about it with expedience. At this point, I'm kind of feeling like nothing's ever going to happen and you're silly if you think it will. Maybe I'll be proven wrong because I know it's early and I'm just getting a little frustrated, but
Well, Tim, if you're wrong, I think he loses MAGA, just completely loses MAGA, because that was the entire motive for so many people who to go out and vote. They wanted to see justice. I mean, so many Americans, thousands of Americans were persecuted by our federal government, and everyone's sitting here waiting to see what's going to happen next, because the lawsuits, whatever, that's just our money getting poured into these lawsuits at this point. That really doesn't have any value. But going after the people who tried to ruin the lives of so many Americans, plus go after our president, if you don't sit there and have arrests, have convictions, I think MAGA just completely loses all hope.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.